This game I'm watching RuddigerJr play Leona, and the matchup is going to be Leona Kog'Maw versus Vayne Shen. So the first thing to consider about this lane is that there's two melee supports that are generally considered kill lane supports. Shen is not that commonly played as a support, but he definitely can be a pretty strong kill lane support. So both of the supports are going to try to be engaging on the carries when the other support engages first is what you're generally going to be going for, because if you engage first, then some of the time that you have their carry CC'd, your carry is not going to be able to be doing damage, but then if you don't get to burst their support down, or get to burst their carry down before the CC ends, then their support is going to get to be able to have CC on your carry, and the entire time that the CC on your carry lasts, their carry is going to be able to do damage to you. So basically, you don't really want to be the first one to engage. However, Vayne is running Ignite and Kog'Maw is running Cleanse. Oh, Kog'Maw is running Heal. Sorry, I thought Kog'Maw was running Cleanse. Yeah, okay, so since neither carry has Cleanse, that means that the CC will be applied for the full time. And generally, you want to take Cleanse on Kog'Maw. Okay, so you see them invading right now. Just drop a ward and then run away. It's important to get the ward in the bush almost immediately, because when you get out, it's no longer really safe for you to get in ward distance. When you get into warding distance, Shen's going to be able to like flash taunt you, or even just taunt you. Like, you're getting so close that Shen could have just taunted you just there, and your flash is already down. So even if you normally would be able to flash away from a Shen taunt before they get to kill you at level 1, you're not going to have that luxury this time, because your flash is already down. So you were 100% dead there if they had reacted to you walking up to the bush to put that ward there. So when you see them level 1 invading like that, you really want to get the ward down and then just get out immediately. And you sitting there, if Kog'Maw had been in position with you, that would have been fine, but since Kog'Maw was really far away, you ended up just taking free damage. And now you're taking an HP pot, or I guess the last stat. No, yeah, you're taking an HP pot, and you actually wasted most of the health that you got from the HP pot. So I would have just allowed regen to do its work. You're not really in any threat of dying immediately right now, so it's not important that you be above about 80% HP. So if you got down to, say, 50% HP, then you would definitely want to take the pot. But taking the pot immediately wasn't quite so important there, because you waste a lot of sustain that you would normally have. And again, you should really be starting with the Scout Ward Mastery and the Biscuiteer Mastery. And so there, you actually could have, if you had your E at level 2, normally you want to take E at level 2. You want to go Q and then E. The reason that you do this scaling order is that Q is better for disengaging, E is generally not sufficient for engaging, and Q is an auto attack reset, which means that you're going to be able to kill any ward that they try to place in your bush. So for those reasons, you take Q first, and then you take E at level 2 so that you have a very credible engage set. And like just then, you could have E'd onto Shen, like earlier when I was saying, you could have E'd onto Shen, and then that was almost certainly a guaranteed kill on him. Sorry, so again, like I was talking about earlier, you put this ward way too deep in the river, because so the vision that you get from this is just this. So if they hug the wall really tight, I think they can get past your vision. If not, then it's going to be really, really close, and you just are wasting a lot of time that you could normally see them coming from. So if they are coming from river, then it's nice to be able to see that deep. But the very first gank is not going to be coming from river. The vast majority of the time it's going to be coming from Chai. So if you are scared of a river gank, then you should just not push out the lane too far, and then just put a ward where it can see all the way to Chai bush and also into river. And then if you need to push out for some reason and you're scared of a gank, then you really do need to cover with 2 wards. Having this 1 ward here is not sufficient, because they can just be seen coming from Chai. So buying pink wards is a really good idea when you're a kill support, because you really want to be able to just sit inside a bush so that they don't know if an engage is about to happen, because they can't see you at all. And you can be in engage range of them without them being able to auto attack harass on you. Again, if you started with the Scout Mastery, then you would have been able to put your Scout Ward in this bush at level 1, and then you would have had 3 wards left over for, well, depending on what your opening builds are. But on Leona, I would open Rejuvenation Bead. I don't particularly like opening Flask, but if you're trying to sustain a lot, you can definitely open Flask. You likely would have been able to kill Vayne there if you had turned. Shen's actually very surprisingly squishy. He should have more sets than he does. Like he only has 30 MR, so that means that he's running no MR runes. So he should be taking a lot less damage than he actually is taking. So if Shen had a normal amount of tankiness, then it would have been appropriate to switch targets from Shen to Vayne there. I'm actually sort of surprised that you were able to get that Shen kill. I expected him to not take that much damage. But if you knew that he had that little MR and you extrapolated from the amount of damage that he was taking earlier, then staying on him is fine. But you probably could have gotten Vayne because she's not running cleanse. So Shen engages on you. Because he only engaged on you, his CC is now down, so that means that you can engage on their AD carry and kill their carry really quickly. But Kog'Maw has 2 kills right now to Vayne's 0 and 31 CS to Vayne's 10 CS. So this game is basically just over now. And then on top of that, she went boots 2 instead of a D-Blade. So she doesn't have the extra AD health that she should have. She doesn't have the Life Leech, and she doesn't have the extra AD. And again, you could have just engaged on her just now. Instead of killing the ward and using your Q on the ward, just E on top of Vayne. E, Q, put your W on. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so that engage could have happened earlier. Like I said, when she was attacking you while you were killing the ward, you could have engaged on her there. Again, this isn't the greatest spot for ward, especially for a pink ward. They can counter pink inside of this bush, and then you won't be able to kill their pink ward, but they'll be able to kill your pink ward for free. That's having one pink ward and having 2 pink wards in the open where both of you can see them. It's just a race to who can kill them first. But if one of them's in a bush and the other one's not in a bush, then that really means that you're gonna have to defend your ward a lot in order to get it to stay, which frequently means that you're not going to be able to move into a position where you need the ward. And as soon as Kog'Maw's W is up right now, you can just engage. Shen's level 3, Vayne's level 5 to your being 6 and 7. Especially now that you have ult. So yeah, that was pretty close. Just as you play the champion more and more, you'll get a better and better idea of exactly how the skill shot ranges work. And it looks like Shen wants to give you another free ward, so you should just go kill that. Like, Kog'Maw is in such a dominant position right now compared to them that you can just go clear the ward. Like, that's totally fine. You don't need to worry about babysitting him right now. He's safe. So just go kill a ward and then come back into lane. And when you're using a Q, try to get your Q, try to go auto attack and then immediately press Q and then auto attack again. That was really bad. When you're ulting an enemy to try to save your carry, you need to be aware of gap closures that they have. And then, okay, so over there, if you had gotten an E off onto Shen, if you had E'd Shen right before Kog'Maw exploded, I think he might have been able to get the kill. So just be aware that Kog'Maw has extra damage, and you should try to get procs off if possible. But yeah, as I was saying, champions that have gap closers or dashes or anything like that, you need to be very careful about when you use your ult, because it's very easy for them to dodge your ult, even if unintentionally with their gap closer. So Jace is coming again, Gillian. It looks like you misclicked that. That should have been the bush. Jace is coming into lane. You know for a fact that he's going to want to gap close to your carry. So unless you can ult when he is definitely out of range of that gap close, or just wait until he's already on top of your carry so that he no longer has a massive mobility spike in order to dodge your ult. So against carries like Ezreal or Graves that have dashes or blinks, you want to save your ult until either after they've already expended their dash to dodge your E, or when they're stunned from your Q, or stunned or snared from your E or stunned from your Q, because you don't want them to be able to dash out of your ult. Yeah, that was a really good ult. You ulted when they couldn't really be super mobile, and Kog'Maw had no reason to die there. But yeah, that was a good response, and then Amumu changed his CC really well with yours. So you can, if you had mana, you could maybe stay and try to push that wave really quickly all the way to tower. You do a pretty good amount of damage with your W, and just try to deny Vayne the CS out tower. But if you weren't going to be able to push it all the way because you didn't have mana, then it's absolutely correct to go back like this. But again, you should be taking way less time to buy. Like, as you're pressing B, if you're completely safe, you can just open the shop and then have the items that you want selected as you go back. And when you're this far ahead, you don't even necessarily need to go for the GP10. If you think that you really want Australia's, then try go for the Philistone. But you're 304 at 13 minutes right now. If you just want to rush an Aegis, or a Locket or something, just go for the early Kindle Gem. Go for the extra HP, just snowball your lane really, really hard. Like, you do want to be maintaining a status significantly tankier than Shen, so buying extra HP is definitely a good idea. Buying the CDR, like CDR and HP are basically the two most important stats on any support. Like, you really want to have CDR, you really want to have HP, so Kindle Gem is just an amazing support item. And you should probably try to get a ward into this bush, especially since you have 6 stone. That ward is free. That ult was not very good. You're fighting in 2 versus 3, so you're not going to be able to do damage to them during the ult, because as soon as the ult ends, they can just kill you if you're still like in damage dealing range of them, and also they weren't doing damage to you. So again, the 2 reasons to use CC are to stop them from doing damage to you, or to do damage to them. And since neither of those was going to happen because of that ult wasn't like the best usage of that cooldown. And for example, now if you had your ult, you could have just ulted onto Vayne, and then Mummy probably would have been able to get a gank off, even though they had vision of it from the sword that he walked over. And when your carry is chasing into a bush like that, just drop a ward into the bush. Like, that's really important. You don't want your carry to face check anything ever. So definitely